All right, today you're going to be making some energy bar charts for objects with a phase change. Now, before you can do the bar charts, you're going to need to know the three types of energy that show up here. First one is ETH, which is short for thermal energy. And that's just a fancy way of saying heat. So when we talk about heat, we're also talking about the thermal energy. The next type of energy that's going to show up on your bar charts today is EPH, which is short for phase energy. Now, a lot of you noticed that in the lab yesterday, the temperature didn't change much while the ice was turning into liquid or while the liquid was boiling. That's because each phase or each state of matter stores a lot of energy just in the actual phase. And so when it's changing phase, you need to add some energy just to rearrange the molecules. So to get molecules out of that structure for ice and into the new structure for water, you have to add more energy. And so the energy that comes from the hot plate goes to changing the phase rather than to adding more or changing the temperature. Now, the last type of energy that shows up on this sheet today is ECH, and that stands for chemical energy. Now, molecules or other chemicals just have some energy stored in their structure. That's not something we're going to go into very much yet. For now, what you need to know is that every chemical stores at least some chemical energy. All right. So I'm going to do two examples for you of energy bar charts. First one I'm going to do is water increasing in temperature on a hot plate. So you'll notice that I've got two grids here. I've got one for initial and one for final. I'm going to start with initial. So I'm going to draw some blocks to represent how much thermal energy it starts with. It doesn't matter too much how many blocks I draw. I'm just going to draw one for now. And then I'm going to draw some blocks to represent the phase energy. Again, it doesn't matter too much how many blocks I draw, but I'm going to go ahead and do two. I'll say, since I know it has to have more phase energy than ice. And then for the chemical energy, I know there's always a little bit of that stored. So I'm going to draw one block for that. Now this middle part, the energy flow, you may have learned that energy cannot be created or destroyed. So if the energy of this water is going to change, it has to come from somewhere. And the idea with this flow piece is to show where is the energy flowing from, or where is it flowing to. So I'm going to put water in the center, since that's the thing that's storing the energy. I'm going to write hot plate down here, and I'm just going to do an arrow. And that tells me that the hot plate is adding some energy to the water. So now I'm going to do the final bar chart, and that's after energy has been added. So after that water has increased its temperature. So I'm going to draw a second block in the thermal energy. Since the water heated up, it must have gained some thermal energy. Now in the phase hasn't changed. It's still liquid water, so I'm still going to draw two blocks just like I had before. And then the chemical energy, the kind of chemical I have hasn't changed, so I'm going to draw just one block again. And so this is what my bar chart should look like. Big change it shows is that increase in thermal energy since the temperature increased. The second example I want to do is ice melting on a hot plate. So I'm going to start out the same way. I'm going to give this just one block of thermal energy. It's not at absolute zero, so it still has a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and do just one block of that phase energy. And then one block of that chemical energy. So I've got the energy that I'm starting with. Now for the flow, I've got that water or that ice. And I once again have the hot plate is the thing that's adding energy. So I'll do an arrow to show that. Now, when that ice is melting, that temperature is not going to change, so it's not going to gain thermal energy. But as it goes from ice to water, it's going to a phase that has more energy. And so I got to draw 2 blocks in that phase energy instead of 1. And then the kind of chemical I have still hasn't changed, so I'm going to do just 1 block for the chemical energy. So this is the kind of thing I want you doing on your worksheet today, and we'll be going over it when I get back.